here we are. It's Monday morning. And as I just said just now, I'm feeling really deeply rested today, actually. And it's made me realize just how much I haven't been rested, and I think that's the thing to remember. I think sometimes with stress and with overwhelm and with exhaustion, actually, is that as much as it's about external things, so the things that are causing us the stress and causing us to think about things and ruminate and all of those things, it's also an internal habit. It's a habit of our mind and a habit of behaviors. And so, to break that, to get into a place where actually the opposite is the habit, that default place is to be not activated, to be able to stay more in our relaxation response. It is something that we practice and we build on. So last week in my membership community, that's what we were doing all week, was building up these little practices to take us to that place of actually becoming more restful and relaxed. And that'd be really nice after a restful weekend. Maybe you haven't had a restful weekend, maybe you have, and to just allow some space for some relaxation this morning. That reminder that we get to choose our state, even if externally there's things happening and it doesn't feel that way. So we're just going to literally pay attention to how it feels inside this morning. How are you this morning? Are you feeling that tug of go, 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 or can you hold on to a sense of rest and restoration through the day, no matter what it throws at you? So we're going to close down our eyes and we're just going to allow some space for you this morning, just before the day starts, before the week starts, just gifting yourself this time. And we'll begin by just thinking about our posture. Now, we don't want to there's no special postures for this practice, but just noticing your body, noticing whether you're too relaxed and you're almost falling back asleep, or if you're holding on too tight and your posture's a bit rigid. You want to find that middle space between those two. And if there's thoughts that arise, which they will, if you're human, just notice you're having thoughts and just come back to the practice. There's no expectation of an empty mind or to have no thoughts. We're just noticing. And every time you notice and you come back, that is the practice. So as we turn inwards, we'll begin by just paying attention to what we can hear this morning. So really listening to the sounds that reach your ears, almost as if you were casting a net out into the world, just bringing those sounds back to your ears. Noticing how the sound will be the most obvious and then another sound will take its place. So we're not trying to hear all the sounds at once, and we're also not trying to focus on any one sound. We're just allowing whatever our experience of the sound is, which is a little bit different to how we're normally listening. And if your mind's already distracted, just notice and come back. And then we'll set an intention to be right here. I'm exactly where I planned to be. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. No matter what else my day has in store right now, this is all that I'm doing. Just moment by moment, tuning in and connecting to myself. Reminding myself that there's a stillness that's not being created by me, but that's just always there that I can drop into. And we'll just take our attention to the very tips of our fingers this morning. Perhaps noticing, if you've meditated with me before, what your mind is already predicting that you'll experience. See if you can just notice your fingertips. Just being really curious. What do you feel? as you pay attention without moving the fingers. Maybe there's a gentle tingling or buzzing in the fingers. Just allowing your awareness to sit on the very tips of the fingers. And if you don't feel any sensations there, that's okay too. But if, as you pay attention to the fingertips, you can feel a gentle buzzing or humming, that's your nervous system responding to your attention. Your fingers preparing for movement. You're becoming alive to your body. And then allow that awareness to spill across the palms of your hands. And feel the weight of your arms as you travel your attention up your wrists and your forearms to the crook of the arms. And traveling up to the shoulders. And perhaps as you're aware of your hands and your arms, you're also aware of the sounds still. Noticing that you can be aware of the things around you as well as the internal experience of your body. Noticing the chest. Feeling that an opening across the chest as you pay attention there. Allowing softening. Allowing the arms to allow the shoulders to move away from the ears. And noticing the belly. Noticing that your belly is rising and falling softly and gently with your breath. Feeling your sit bones in the chair or on the bed or on the floor. Feeling the weight of your spine carrying your body. And noticing your thighs. The weight of the legs sinking into the chair or wherever you're sitting. The knees. Noticing the bend of the knees. All the way down the lower leg. Noticing the calves and the shins. And feeling the feet, perhaps on the floor or tucked underneath you. Noticing all the way to the very tips of the toes. And maybe as you pay attention to the very tips of the toes, you can notice that same gentle tingling, or not, that you noticed in your fingertips. So now your whole body's in your awareness. Noticing that as we pay attention, that maybe even without effort, the body begins to soften. Or maybe we become aware of where there's tension. And we can just allow it to be there. We don't need to make anything happen. Our attention is the most powerful way we have to soften. Noticing the forehead, the tongue in the mouth. And noticing the body breathing. As you breathe in, the body rises. As you breathe out, it falls. And just picking one place in the breath, maybe where the cool air enters the nostrils or the mouth. Maybe the soft, gentle rising of the chest or the belly, just choosing one place to land your attention. You can even put your hand on your belly to help you to stay with the breath. And we're not trying to do anything to the breath or make anything happen. We're just observing the breath rising and falling. And you can use that rising and falling of the body breathing for you to really anchor your attention so that as you get distracted, you can notice and come back. So when the body breathes in, you can softly note the word rising in your mind. And as you breathe out, falling. rising, falling. And we'll take some silence to just notice that rising and falling. Rising, falling. Just coming back whenever you get distracted. And we'll gently take 3 just slow, deep breaths now. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. And then letting the breath find its natural rhythm. And just gently returning movement to the fingers and the toes. And gently blinking open the eyes. And maybe just coming back to the sounds that you can hear now with your eyes open. And just becoming aware of the quality of your attention now, having just spent those few minutes turning inwards. That we didn't need to create anything special or different, but that things can sometimes shift and change anyway. And I hope wherever you are today, that you can have a restful day, even if it's full of busyness, that internal state can stay slightly in that rest response. Take care, everybody, and have a great week.